You participated in the finals of the calypso competition, and your presentation, which was the first, was not broadcast on VC3, which is a station that is owned by the government via the national lotteries. Are you aware that your song was not broadcast?
Well, initially I wasn't aware of that, but recently I was told by a few people who probably was involved in paying for the broadcast. They commented to me that my presentation wasn't broadcast.
How do you feel about that?
Well, to me, it didn't surprise me, because honestly speaking, I expect anything from these guys, anything in the adverse when it comes to me.
I know you made some changes to the song after the preliminaries.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you make those changes?
Well, because it was said to me by the CDC's chairman, I think he is Ashford.
Or the CEO? He's the CEO.
CEO, okay, that they were recommended by their lawyer for me to change some of the lyrics in the song. So they said to me, in order for me to appear on the show, I have to change them. If I don't, then I can't be on the show.
And you complied, you changed the lyrics?
Well, that I did, yeah.
And after you changed the lyrics, and did you have to submit the lyrics to them for them to see what you would actually sing?
Well, we made some changes in their presence, but after close consideration, I realized those changes were rather weak. So I made some changes on my own that I know would not offend them. That was the ultimate part of the thing.
So that revised version of the song, that's what you sang in the semis?
Yeah.
And did they complain at all after the semis about what you sang in the semis?
No. They wasn't disapproved. They were not disapproved about what I sang in the semis.
Did they give you any feedback whatsoever about whether it's okay, it's not okay?
Absolutely no feedback.
So there were no complaints?
No complaints after the semis.
And the version of the song that you sang in the finals, is it the same version that you sang in the semis?
Except to the ad lib at the end, where I made some changes on my own, on myself. I made some changes on myself in the ad lib at the end, because I thought that there might have been some penalties from the judges in the ad lib that I used in the semis. So I changed that on my own.
Without submitting it to them?
Without submitting it.
And after that, after the finals, did the CDC complain at all?
Absolutely no. No complaint at all. No complaint.
Did VC3 or any of the media houses complain after the semis?
No. And tell you the truth, Tell you the truth. This thing about changing lyrics, it started from my 10th. It's my 10th leader really initially start that stupidness.
What do you mean?
Well, Ipa was the one who came to me and telling me I need to change my lyrics.
But did he say why?
Well, because he said that he spoke to some lawyer, and the lawyer told him that my lyrics could be defamatory and I could bring the 10th in trouble. And he's the initial person who started this thing with changing.
But he was looking, I guess, in the interest of the 10th and even your interest.
Well, boy, I really didn't know whose interest he looking in, because surely wasn't mine. Because to tell me change my lyrics in a preliminary, the night before the preliminary, is really dangerous. Because to remember a song, or a line in a song, it's not easy, You gotta be practicing that for some months before you could really craft that good in your head, You see? So I see myself now, I just watch the whole thing as just being a victim. A victim to circumstances.
Do you think that what happened demonstrates some of the things that you sang about in your song?
Absolutely. It's the heights of hypocrisy. And in some way or the other, he wasn't really surprised because if you notice the beginning of the song, when I start singing about calypsonians and the hypocritical ways and so forth, I know that I am against a bunch of hypocrites, really, you know, and so the song really speaks out for itself.
When I take a good look at all you, it's like an egg in me head. The only thing I comparing all you to is a holy valley dead. There has been no kind of development. Year after year is the same. The only thing I see all you doing is trying to give calypso bad name. All you hypocrites, you saying that all of you is my friend. All you hypocrites, I come here to face all of you again. All you hypocrites, you saying that all you love calypso. All you hypocrites, it's something I want all of you to know. If you hear all you hate me, all you feel, all you destroy me, I will never ever surrender to calypsonians hypocrisy.
And he also sang in the song that you don't care about prize money.
Well, that again, initially, I had nothing to worry about because in first, you know, I never expected to sing in the competition.
Why?
No, because I know the contents of my song would have been controversial, and I know that these judges kind of thin-skinned, and I just had decided to just launch the song and cool out. But the guys in the tent asked me, please, to come in the tent and give the tent a boost.
So
And
you weren't, sorry, initially you weren't planning to compete at all?
no. Even up to a few days before the competition, they're still begging me because I said to them, man, I am not interested in the competition. Because that's how I plan to sing, really. That's why, that was my intention, you know, not to go back into competition. Because competition is something that, if you're not careful, you know, it can break you down to nothing in the heart. You know.
What do you mean?
Well, if you have expectations that your song is so good and you look forward to something, and then in the end they turn you down, if you're in strong, you never sing again. Yeah, competition is dangerous, very, very dangerous. And I think to my level of calypso in St. Vincent now, I think I pass competition. I'm supposed to just sing for the nation and just pay my money, sing and let her go. Not competition, because competition, as I say again, could bring you down to nothing. Yeah, bring you to nothing. You know how many men in this competition now saying, I ain't singing again? But me can't say that.
Did you guys have to sign a contract with the CDC?
Yeah, we did sign a contract. We signed 2 contracts.
What was the contract about, really?
Well, the contract was just stating, one, the money that you will be paid. It also spoke about the lyrics, if they are perceived to be defamatory or libelous, you would have to change them and so forth. But it wasn't nothing big. Nothing big in the contract. But most of the times, the contract is always in the favor of CDC, never in the favor of the calypsonians. And there are a few things that I really didn't satisfy with in the contract. But like I tell you again, calypsonians kind of weak. Because, for example, this contract with the prize money, you're supposed to be paid an appearance fee. But however, if you win a prize money, then the appearance fee is being deducted out of the prize money. That's a very, very, very bad thing right now. I talked to them over it. I tried to get the guys to stand up over it, but...
So in essence, you're being penalized for winning?
Yeah. You're not being paid for the appearance. That's another big error. But then, like I tell you...
But how much is the appearance fee anyway?
For the semifinals is $1,100.
And for the finals?
And for the finals, $2,000. Which is rubbish. Man. Total rubbish. I think for the semi-finals, a man should be getting less about $3,000. Because when you pay $1,000 to do a song, right, to produce a song, and you end up getting $1,100 to appear in the semi-finals, it's just $100 profit. You know, and then in the finals should be the least about $5,000 per person. Yeah, because putting out $1,000, like for example me, I only make about what? $2,100 after singing all them nights.
So what about from your tent? Do you get any money from your tent?
Man, the 10K I even pay for the light, much as to pay me. 10K I pay for the light. Sometimes at the end of the 10th season, you might get a little $100. Well, this wrong here, I could give me a 150. So I don't know. That again need to be sorted out, you know. And this is why a lot of people don't like me, you know, because I'm a very bold and outspoken man. The tents running and Calypsonians ain't getting nothing, man.
Well, at least some of the tents.
All of them, Calypsonians ain't getting nothing, man. For example, let me see upstage. I am not a member of the upstage. But in the upstage, if you do get $200 or $300, you get plenty. If you do. So all of them is the same damn rubbish. All of them is rubbish. But my intention is that after this carnival, I want to see the whole thing get restructured. The tents, the association, and even the CDC need restructuring. Yeah, the whole thing is rubbish, man. It is not in the favor of the artists.
What would you like to see change?
Well, what I would like to see change, one, I would like to see the managements of the tents change to be more collective and associated. In the sense that I would like to see all the tents holding the same head. And it's very difficult because the upstage is a whole set of party acts. And the other tents, to me, like I say in the song, is a whole heap of living dead. Yeah, a whole heap of living dead. They don't know the rights, they don't know the power. Because when I say to them, look, we could stand, we could make sure that the show ain't take place unless we get what we want. When I call them for money, only 2 guys would stand up. After that, all the rest, they just sit down, thinking that when you get selected for the semi-finals, it's a favor. It's not a favor, it's just an employment, you get a job. That's why they could tell me change the lyrics. Because if I want the job, I have to comply to their rules and their regulations. If I don't want it, I say, you guys go with that. You know. I had some real rough time with these guys, you know. I didn't even tell you that. The night before the semi-finals, the night in the semi-finals, before I come on stage, about 10 minutes before I come on stage, I was confronted by a contingent from CDC and tent leader and association president. A number of them come and tell me, anyhow I drop a line that they told me I wasn't supposed to sing. They plugging out my mic. When you see I go on stage in the semi-finals, I just go because I realize that a lot of people out there still waiting to hear me. And had I not sing, I would have, you know, make people feel unhappy. So I just did it with some anger in me. I wasn't myself in the semi-finals. But in the finals, I tried to be myself. But the whole season went against me. I ain't surprised with all that happening. I ain't surprised. But you see, if we don't change our lifestyle in St. Vincent about how we're dealing with artists, it could end up into real controversy. Because every man could sit down and hold things, you know. Some man just react differently. And it got some people in this society, whether you believe it or not, who doing a lot of dirty works that they're not supposed to do, you know, but just because they want to satisfy other people in society. And we have to change that thing too. Because, for example, this in my song contain defamatory lyrics. Only the court could prove that.
But then at the same time, you don't want to wait until the court says, yes, you're defamatory, and then you find yourself in legal trouble.
But then, somebody's opinion is not correct. And only the court could decide that.
But I go back to the point that, you know, that's why we have lawyers, or lawyers can say, well, based on the laws of defamation, that the court can rule that this is defamatory.
I prefer go to the court.
But then at the same time, you don't want to implicate somebody else. If you're standing in the street and singing it, it's one thing versus if you're going into a competition and then you have entities broadcasting it.
Well, I could understand that part, but still, the idea is going to the court. Because if somebody telling me that something is defamatory, only the court can decide that. Only the court. So up to now, they ain't really on a point. And you know, nobody never really confronted me in any way of defaming them. Nobody. Because, for example, right?
So you say nobody ever accused you directly of defaming?
No, nobody.
Just other people saying that you're defaming other people?
Right. And nobody ever came to me in any way or notified me in any way or commented in any way that they were offended by me and my song. Like I tell you again, it's just a few people who want to take things on the head. You understand? But I know how it is. But if they think they hear anything yet, wait until next year. Wait until next year. And I keep calling people names because the only how you could bring out the thing is by calling the names. When you hear I singing next year, you want a boy like Inky. Because only two places in here. Two places. Jail or cemetery. Only two places in here.
Can I ask how old you are, Zainai?
Me? You have to tell me how much I look first.
It would not be fair to...
No, tell me how much I look and then I watch me good. Watch me good and tell me how much I look.
I'm not into the guessing business.
No, but you could just watch it and see.
I don't know.
I'm 63 years old.
63?
63 years old. And I can't live 63 more. So that's why you see, I bold and outspoken. When I sing, if I feel like say, Kent and Chance, it's Kent and Chance I sing. Even though, at the same time, you know, me ain't gonna tell no lie on nobody. Me ain't gonna tell no lie on nobody. Anything I sing in is with facts about. Because, for example, people might interpret what I am saying.
But so you're talking about facts, right? In the original version of this song, you spoke about somebody busting somebody's head.
Well, no. Again, if you notice what I say, right? For example, well, that's another thing about the hypocrisy of this country. Because they tell me take out all the lyrics with other people's names and this who they perceive that I am talking about. But they tell me I could leave Cummins, spelled a big stone and bossy head. You see the hypocrisy in this country? Leave that. I know that CDC ain't concerned about that. Who is Cummins? They ain't consider Cummins as nobody. Who Cummins are talking about? They ain't care. But don't say they put Yogi in the mental home. Who is they? All I say, all you hypocrites. You put Yogi in the mental home. They say take out that. All you hypocrites. I have your father sex tape on the phone. They say take out that.
But one could also argue that you put a context in which you were saying these things.
Yeah, but the point I'm making, who the hell is all you? Who is all you? That's the big thing. All you is more than one person. So who is all you? All you hypocrites. Who is the hypocrites? I referring to the hypocrites. You put Yogi in the mental home. Who consider themselves hypocrites? Tell me. Tell me. But they ain't see nothing yet. It's next year. You see why I come back in the ring now? I just come to clean up things. I come to make sure that the art go forward. If I didn't come this year, Calypso wouldn't have this kind of observance as it had now. Because I came, people were able to gravitate to calypso and pay attention to calypso. You understand? Yeah. So this is why they had to keep me around. Because they know the people paying attention to what I say. And if they think they hear lyrics, next thing, you know what I singing about next year too? The cocaine we get hold up in Greece. All them things is what I singing about. Them is the thing I singing about. Because it look like this country is a narcotic country. So when anyhow they go, I coming for them. Anyhow they go. The cocaine we get hold up in Greece. We've been in St. Vincent for so long, storing and transshipments in Vincent and get hold up in Greece. These are the things that we need to sing about. You understand? The cocaine in the clinic. You understand? Out in, what they call the place, oh yeah. It's because if in 2 songs, if it was 2 songs we singing, you would hear more lyrics, but some for next year. All I do is asking God forgive me life. I exposing them. What the politicians can do is what I intend to do. Because we need some sort of social change and political change in the ground.
What is your view of the one song format? Do you think that's better than the
Well, seriously talking, I think it's better. I believe it's better. I hope that they continue that. Because it means that, one of the big things about this 2-song thing is that sometimes you're in the park all after 1 and 2 o'clock, hoping to go and make a presentation. Sometimes you're sleepy, you're tired. The one song, I feel we should continue that. If a man is saying good, he out. Yeah, that's simple.
And do you think that would raise the standard of the calypsos?
Well, I believe so, because a man will realize that if he ain't good, he ain't making it. Yeah, you gotta be good in one song. I find that's good. I would propose to them for that. That's a good thing. Trust me.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Denny, for speaking to me.
You're welcome, man.
Look at those people. I know the effects when I talk. Every year all of them get free plane ticket to George Calypso in New York. Calypsonians make opportunity for them to enjoy their life. Yes, they're cheating some Calypsonians and others disdainfully jeopardize. All you hypocrites, I wish for the day when all of you dead. All you hypocrites, all lay down sick on your dying bed. All you hypocrites, I ain't come to sing for no prize money. All you hypocrites, you could do what the hell all you like with me. A few years all you ain't see me, all you feel, all you destroy me. I will never ever surrender to no judge's hypocrisy. All you hypocrites, I just want to make sure my conscience clear. All the hypocrites, and say something for the whole world to hear. All the hypocrites, even though you're wicked, worthless and dread. All the hypocrites, Vincentians was wrong when they bust your head. The few years all you ain't see me, all you feel, all you destroy me. I will never ever surrender to Vincentians hypocrisy. All you hypocrites, I'm on, I'm on. Yeah.